Greetings, everyone. Greetings, the Pan African Daily TV community and family, and all Africans worldwide, wherever you're connecting from the continent, the diaspora, the UK, the Europe, Haiti, particularly, and yes, everywhere that you freedom fighters, liberators, and Pan Africanists are connecting. We want to welcome you on this special edition, a day where Africans are sitting around and just sharing and paying respect, honoring the passing away of an elder. I mean, elder not in terms of age, but an elder in terms of his work and his engagement and his liberation and his teachings to the African people. Um, and I still want to quote this quotation of one of our viewers or his followers who said, at the time when all of us Africans were sleeping, our elder was busy on the road, searching for wisdom to liberate us, searching and researching for facts and key historical facts about the African people to liberate and wake up to show us the path. So while we were busy at slumber and resting and even relaxing, he was on the journey being active for his people. And so today we want to pay him our respect. He's not going to be the last one, but of course, to learn about his works and his engagement from his comrades, from his colleagues, like Professor Bayyinah Bello, that is joining us from Haiti and that has known him for a while, his work, or a personal friend or something like that. She's going to really tell us a lot about who Dr. Runoko Rashida was, because a lot of Africans, particularly on the continent, did not have that opportunity to know him in person or to even get engaged in his work. So today we are rewriting those footprints of his ideology so that the next generation and the youths and young people around can always grasp on, to share in their groups, in their community, what type of an elder, a ruler, a teacher that we had here. And his work is going to stay here, is going to live on from generation to generation. And that is what is very particular about a legacy, about working, about being raised loyal to your people and serving in this category. We know a lot of people, heroes that have passed on, but they just are forgotten. Nobody would even remember their name. But a hero like this makes the difference, as this is the history. He's going to leave us forever and ever. He's going to live with us. And yes, we want to thank also the elders that are coming on, particularly Professor Bayyinah. She has very short time to be with us today, despite her own program that she's also doing, a tribute and other engagements out there. But she said, no, when one of us fall down, we have to gather. We also want to thank King Maponga Joshua that is sharing this platform, like Professor Bayyinah said, for the first time, both of them are coming together on a very special ceremony like this. We appreciate and we congratulate you. Later on, we also will be joined by Professor James Small and Reverend Dr. Ninana Kweku and others that will be signing in to pay their last respect and to share also their condolences with the African community on this passing away. So I want to greet you, Professor Bayyinah and King Maponga, and welcome to this exclusive show tonight. Professor
Thank you.
Bayyinah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for inviting me, for having me. And we take this moment to greet our brother. He's our younger brother, 66 years old, a hard worker who's gone all over the world. In fact, I think in one of the shows we did together, he mentioned having gone to 125 countries in the world,
Mm,
searching for our artistry, our people, what we did, what we accomplished. So, Brother Dr. Runoko Rashidi, I greet you. And as I said, when a soldier falls, the others are duty bound to greet you properly and then pick up your weapon and continue.
mm,
The fight goes on. That's a big loss. This is somebody really in the heart of his work. In fact, in one of our program, and maybe I will know how to share this with you, but he said he's a student. That's the most important thing about him, and he loves to learn. And he think as long as you're learning, then you'll never die. So I will never die because I'm learning all the time.
Yes.
That was one of the things he said in December last year.
Mm.
So Brother Runoko Rashidi, a fighter, a hard worker. We had plans to we were making plans to write a book together, and so this was we were stunned. We know none of us are ever ready to receive death, even though we know in IT we say death is sleep is death's little brother. So we die a little every day, every time we go to sleep, but we don't stop being surprised, being taken aback every time, and especially when it's somebody younger than you. It hurts even more. Somebody you worked with yesterday. So it strikes hard. But this is a brother who spent all his life doing nothing but searching our information. Everywhere he goes, he went to India, he went to Asia, he went to Africa, he went to the Caribbean. In fact, the last program we did together, that was his choice. He said, we have to do this show together, Sister Bayyinah. I have pictures. I'm going to come with 25, 30 pictures of our freedom fighters all over the world, and we're going to talk about that. That's what we're going to do.
Mm.
Okay, sure. So you want to do a Runoko Rashidi show on the Bayyinah and Friends show? Fine, let's do it. True enough, because this is someone who's, he's always clear on what he wants, and he's very determined. And so we did that. He says, and I want brother James. I want James Small to be with us so we can discuss, these pictures. And we did that, and it was a very, very good program. People really enjoyed it, and we all learned from each other. And that's the greatest thing about it is that when we are together, Runoko, James Small, Bayyinah, when we work together, is that we're constantly one teaching the other, and we are always one learning from the other. And that's the most wonderful thing about having that kind of people, that type of attitude, one enriching the other. And that's what he's done every time I've known him. That's always what I've seen, what I've experienced with Brother Runoko. Brother Runoko came to Haiti, I can't remember, in the 90s somewhere. He visited. And, we traveled, rough times, rough roads, rough situations. Never heard a peep about. Some people say, "Oh no, that's too much." Not him. He said, we gotta see this. I gotta see that. And that's the kind of person he was, always learning. And Dessalines said in the Constitution, in fact, it is said. Dessalines told us that we can choose when we have to choose the next leader of Haiti. We must choose on the basis of that person's contribution to freedom.
Correct.
Contribution to freedom is the highest. He didn't give two, he didn't give three, he didn't give five um, elements to choose a leader by. Just your contribution to freedom. And to me, Brother Runoko fit the bill. All his life and all his work was acquiring the knowledge and sharing the knowledge that will bring us each day closer to being free, to being freer and freer. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share the little bit that I know about the brother. I remember also being very impressed with him when he talked about his daughter. His eyes light up, his face light up. Oh, my daughter, my daughter. This is someone who has a great deal of love for his family, and that's very endearing. So
You you
yes,
you're saying in choosing a leader, I mean, like we're giving this over to the young generation. It should not just be somebody that would make political statements about how he wants to elevate the people. This should be something that is already, you see it as a track record of the work for what they've done, saving their race and their people, isn't it?
absolutely. He clearly said that once, whether we choose the next person to lead the country before or after his death, that person should be chosen on the basis of their contribution to freedom. So we must learn to know what is freedom so we can recognize those who are fighting for freedom. Freedom doesn't mean that you have a gun in your hand. You have to understand that fighting freedom is a daily activity that we can carry on in many, many ways. That brings me to another example. When we were doing Creta the Battle of Creta with Dr. Rashidi, one of the things that came up is the contribution of women in the fight. And one of the things is that women would take their newborn babies and use them as a weapon to do whatever had to be done, like stuff the baby in the mouth of a cannon to stop the cannon from shooting our people. Now, you may have your way of looking at it, but to me, that's the highest sacrifice that a mother could do, for the larger family, to take your family and sacrifice it. That's a freedom fighter. That's somebody who believes in freedom and who has demonstrated their ability to work or to contribute to freedom.
What should the younger people or the generation or everybody that is watching, according to this legacy, be taken as a piece to take away from Elder Dr. Runoko Rashidi?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he's left about 20 books.
Uh-huh.
So Dr. Runoko Rashidi has left many books to show us and teach us what he believed in and what his work was all about. He's also a great admirer of women. There's somebody, the majestic black woman. Everywhere he goes, he photographs the woman, and he talks about the accomplished, those who have accomplished certain things. He has great respect for women. So I think by buying his books, reading his books, is one way that each one of us can better understand who this person is. Don't just take people's word for it, but he has done enough work for us to go ahead and, if we don't know him enough, to go ahead and get to know him better. He's done a lot also on the net. He has a lot of work all over in different forms, different media. So if we want to know what he thinks, we have many ways of doing so. He has left a trail.
um, it is so sad, like hearing, like you said, no one really would say, okay, he has done his work, it's time to go home at the age of 66. Who does that? But if you look in the past, or just in this shorter time, we've lost a lot of them just going like this in this age group. Um, I don't know. Do you have a feeling like we are living in a particular spatial time?
I don't think with times there are special times.
Hmm.
We have to, if we understand, we're living in a society today, um, a criminal society. This is the society that has brought about wholesale slavery on 5 continents. This is a society that has brought colonization on 5 continents, if we want to say five, if want to say something, on the entire planet. This is a society that for money will create disease and spread it. This is a society, so we have to understand the society in which we're living, whether things are obvious or less obvious, it is a criminal society. And in that society, everything is possible. So we have to understand this is a society who is make it its business to war on nations, to just create, some people could just sit somewhere in their office and decide, oh, they should create a havoc in Haiti or create havoc in St. Vincent. Let's have a coup d'etat there. Let's have more people, let's accuse Dr. Tata and Bayyinah. Let's put them against each other. And they can manipulate. They have all the means, all the money, and to do that. And they do that. So if we understand we're in that kind of a society, we understand we are in full-fledged war. And if people are warring on us and we're not planning anything to fight back, we don't have a program, we're not aware that this is full-fledged war, then of course we're going to count lots of casualties. Because casualties will come in every shape, way, or form. We have to be prepared. And that's why we have to identify and understand when a soldier falls, then we have a duty to pick up his weapon and continue the fight. We have to understand that.
You wrote immediate. Yes, go ahead.
I'll say we almost have to understand we can't afford to cry. We cannot afford to cry or to be sad, because they will use your sadness against you. You have to pick up the weapon and continue to fight.
You're touching a very relevant point here. Like we are not. If you look at it, that's why, particularly women that are in this liberation movement, we turned to be looked upon as women that are very hard, as if we don't have emotions, as if we're not, just because you know that your emotions would be the weapon for the enemy against you, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, you see, I'm 73, and it's been a long time since I make up my mind. People's opinions is their own. I have to do what I have to do according to my own objectives.
Yes. I
cannot afford to be worrying about how Dr. Tata will take it, or this other person or this other person. I have to be true to Bayyinah.
I share. Yes. That is very, very fundamental. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have less people advocating, less people volunteering. It's not that we have anything against them, like I said, but what is our fault if we have to take this journey, or this journey was actually made for us? It's not, what can we be accountable for that, whatever thing even become even an adversary, not even to the other enemies that we're talking about, the enemies within. So what can we be accountable for, particularly women on this journey, Prof?
Well, the way I look at it, life is all about purpose. What is your purpose? Once you set your purpose, then you are accountable to that. You must do what you must do in order to accomplish, to reach your goal. It's a must. We have no choice. I think of people like Cleopatra, 16 years old, parents are dead. She has to take the lead in the country. It's true, she has been prepared all the time. She speaks 16 languages. She knows all about, she's been educated to run the country.
Mm-hmm.
but they were not expecting at 16. Now, once she and her younger brother is 9, now the Romans choose to invade the country at that time
Mm-hmm.
with two little children at the head of the country. They tell us they were fighting. I don't exactly see how the 9-year-old and a 16-year-old, or well prepared 16-year-old, will be fighting for running the country. But that's what they usually say in history, right? Okay, so the Romans invade, they start stealing, they start doing what they always do. She is at the head of her army. She fights to defend her country. Her army loses. They put a price on her head. And ultimately, she decides to wrap herself in a carpet and send herself as a gift to the ones who's put a price on her head, who has declared that Egypt, the language, you must not speak your language anymore, you must not do, all the temples are closed, every forces of culture is put under, hidden, blocked by the Romans, and a price on the head of Cleopatra. So she goes. She is brought in front of Caesar. They roll out the carpet. She comes out and she says, "All right, now you have me. I bring me to you. Give me the money. You put a price on my head." Okay. When I look at situation like that, I said, "Now this is a daring woman, and who knows the first rule of war is surprise is the best weapon." Of course, she won that battle because then he start talking to her. He start, eventually will marry her according to her own rule. But look what, marry her where? In the temples that he had closed. So therefore, all temples are open.
Mm-hmm.
Marry her in Egyptian outfit. Marry her in Egyptian language. What does this woman do? Was she in love with Caesar, or was she defending her culture? We have to learn how to read the information that comes to us. So here is a young woman who sees she lost the physical military war, but she's
Mm-hmm.
going to take it on another level. And she went on. So there are lessons for us. These are the lessons we must learn
Mm-hmm.
and not worry about what people, I'm sure a lot of people say, "Oh, goodness, Cleopatra, look at this. She's marrying the enemy." Did she? Or did she save the culture, the language, the temples,
I
and the
mean,
food?
I share, Mama. This is, I mean, I just learned it. I never saw it also from this perspective, but of course, there's so many ways where we can liberate our people, being as a frontliner. Immediately, our elder passed away. You send this message from Fundación Felicite, your organization, to all your networks, and I want to read it out to particularly those that did not get it, and the way you coordinated and the instructions that you gave us to do and that very night was very, very touching, and I'd like us to share with the audience and you can explain. You said, "Jambo, greetings, Hotep Lone Alafia family. Baba Runoko Rashidi transitioned in Cairo on August 2nd, 2021, carrying on his mission dressed in full-fledged battle gear. Let each one of us offer him light, water, and fruit with your heartfelt parting words. You know that we are in a planetary war. When one of our brave warriors fall, we are duty bound to properly salute him, then pick up his weapon and march on to victory. The more we are in offering light, water, and sweet to the part of his transition, the easier his journey will be. Continue in knowledge, sharing, power, Warrior, Brother Runoko Rashidi, Ashe, 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 Ayibobo, Asante Sana, your sister and Queen Mama Bello of Haiti. I added this one, yes. But of course,
Doing some
I love
editing, huh?
when you passed on that message advising us to just do that, send him light, water, and power. Can you just explain um, this libation or this tradition or this ritual that we should do and keep?
In our tradition, first of all, death is only a surprise to those of us who are alive.
Hmm.
But the person who's transition knows something inside of them, their soul knew and had been preparing. And their soul will continue. Is soul doesn't go anywhere. Only the body has ceased to leave, but the
Hmm.
soul continues.
Hmm.
So, and the soul will accompany that body for a while anyway. So then we feed the soul the light, the water, the sweets. And I didn't think of it then, but speaking to one of our brothers here, somebody did mention you should have put books, Mommy Bello. And that's correct, because learning was the most important thing to his soul. So then putting learning materials, books, notebooks, pencils, whatever, these also are great element to accompany the soul as the soul continues to work for the body. So we are providing what souls can use to carry on, because we tend to forget we are an eternal people. This thing will go. The flesh and bones that I'm wearing will go
Hmm.
whichever day it's supposed to go.
Hmm.
But Bayyinah will live forever.
Ashe.
So as long as one person remembers Bayyinah and put a light for her,
Mm,
put a glass of water for her, put
mm,
some sweets for her,
mm,
her soul will be fed. And that's what we mean when we talk about being people of who respect ancestors. We always need naming their name is also another way of feeding the soul.
mhm,
Eating, drinking things that we know they like. I may not care for, I don't smoke. But if I knew this person loved to smoke cigars, I will have a cigar for this person,
mm,
because the soul will communicate with the smoke. The smoke will bring information, sense, smoke, taste. All of these are ways that we communicate to the invisible.
mm.
So while our brother is still close to us, it's good to offer the soul as much as we can. If it was somebody that we knew that loved jewelry, we would offer a piece of jewelry,
Mm,
dresses, clothing. I don't care what it is. Whatever you know this person was particularly attached to, then you want to add that to your libation.
mhm.
Doing it for 24 hours is good, but if you do it for 7 days, that's even better. If you do it for
Correct.
21 days, that's even better.
Mhm,
And regularly, on a regular basis, either
mhm,
on that person's birthday or on that person, whatever particular day that is important to this person, you can always nourish the soul with those elements.
This is deep. This is fundamental. Immediately, you sent that message. We share it, and then we were thinking, Nation and I, this is a libation. This is a remembering. How do we do it? And I think a lot of people are also asking, like you said, if we do it like that, is it like creating an altar, putting these elements, remembering him at particular instances, like for the 7 days that we accompany him? How are we supposed to do it?
Well, you establish a small table on a
Yes.
cloth,
Hmm.
preferably a purple cloth.
Purple.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
White can always also be used, but preferably is purple. If we look at Kemet, we look at in a lot of our traditions, purple was the color that accompanied the soap.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, we put on a table a small cloth, and then we put the items, the light, the water, the sweet, whichever sweet we choose, and books, pencil, in his case, learning materials. We could also put a picture, just, and that is more for us to keep us, our intention on him clear,
Correct.
so
Mm.
that every time we pass by, we may want to say something to him. We may
Mm.
want to speak to him every time we pass by that table. So it's like keeping the communication going. Um, we have done a celebration for the Queen, Marie Louise and Empress Felicite, where we interviewed them. We made an, taking quotes from what they had said, and then we created the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave them another opportunity to reaffirm what they had already said to us. See, but the biggest problem we have is that we have adopted other people's views of fundamental things.
Yes.
Okay, so because of this, we tend not to remember that the dead are not dead, as Birago Diop told us.
Mm.
They are in the sound of the wind. They still are in the bushes. They are dead or not dead. Just the body is gone, but the person, the soul, the essence is present. So treat it properly. Treat it as you would treat that person if they were in the flesh. Essentially, that's what we do. Okay. Uh, we would not, we don't have to say, well, I don't have any money, so I can't go to the funeral. You don't have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
A soul is present everywhere. Just set up the proper setting, a picture, some light, water, and then speak to the soul. Tell them, oh, I didn't have a chance to tell so and so I was sorry. Well, not too late. Go ahead. Say it. Set up a structure and say it. Speak to that person.
Thank you so very much, Prof. This is very, very deep. Why? Because, I mean, what is it that, like you say, we've adopted? We know cultures that are saying, oh, that's worshiping the dead, that's doing this. But if that dead was my mother, was a close person, was a brother like this, and I remember him with this substance, what is then evil or wrong about it?
Well, you know what? I don't, when I'm asked questions like that, I said, are those people who slaughtered half the population of the continent of Africa, are these the people talking about lighting a candle and water is evil? The same people who did slavery, who tortured us, are still stealing everything from under our feet, are these people the ones who are telling us what is evil? And we take that seriously? No, let's be for real. You got a brain, you have logic, you have good sense. Use it. People
Yes.
who create wars for the heck of it, people who create disease and infect the whole planet, these people would tell me what is evil? Please. I wouldn't even, there is no response. Just, I would say, remember who you are and what you have been doing and still doing.
Ashe, Queen,
Yes, ma'am.
much respect because you're not just talking, you're acting, you're engaged, you're teaching, you're showing per example, like Dr. Runoko did. It's not just like we're talking about some illusions, about some theories that somebody brought. We're talking about facts. things that are tangible, physical. His books are there, his writings are there, his images are there, his photos going to more than 125 universities in more than how many countries in the world. These are fact and tangible things. I mean, can someone just dream again and tell you something different? Ain't that laziness somehow or ignorant that we think somebody would do that? So you're so spot up. You put up that light in my face. I already was really, I didn't know how I'm going to pull this tribute the whole day. I've just been weary in bed, but you're telling us this is the light. And you remember this memory keeps you intact. And we see even them that saying is wrong do it all the time. So who is fooling who actually? To their own. Thank you so much, Mom.
Yes, I thank you. My time is sort of has arrived. I
I
thank
know.
you very much for inviting me. And I thank all of you. Please don't let murderers, wholesale murderers, tell you what is wrong or right. Be kind to the soul of your departed. Keep the communication going because this is the way our own soul is fed. This is the way we receive their strength when in trouble. This is the way we have more. If, let's say, we were on a battlefield with 200 soldiers facing the enemy with 1,000 soldiers, well, all of the ones, our soldiers that you have kept in communication with, will be part of your troops when you're in trouble. So don't let people separate you from those who have crossed over. They've crossed, they're not dead because spirit never dies. Spirit is forever. Remember your father, remember your mother, remember your great grandmother, your great 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 grandmother, and call on them when things get tough. Be blessed,
Thank
be
you.
healthy, be wealthy, and let's build our collective power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Blessings and to the program that you're doing. Greetings to our people out there. I know you have a 7 hour power show to roll around now, and you find time to be with us. We are very, very thankful. You are remembered already. Your legacy is already there. Thank you so much for
Thank
being here.
you. Be
Thank you.
blessed. Yes.
Yes.